What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at the most, it might have been last week, I'm not even sure at this point, but we covered an article talking about, I think Elon Musk or somebody sent out an email to the federal employees, to pretty much every single federal employee that was working remotely, right? Telling them that they need to come back into the office, and they had a complete meltdown over this, and they were going crazy and losing their minds, and he doesn't tell us what to do, he's an unelected bureaucrat, for crying out loud. And I was loving every single minute of it. Well, there's an update to that right quick. This is not the news article we're going to cover. We're going to cover something even more great, if you will, but check this out right quick. Musk: federal workers who haven't returned to office will be placed on leave this week. So there you go. There's an update for that, and I'm loving it, folks. But that's not the only thing. Well, if you were on X this weekend, you came across Democrats actually having another meltdown on like, I don't know how many meltdowns. They're just continuing to have these meltdowns, and it's lovely to watch all of this because Elon Musk sends out this email to every single federal employee again. And check this out, y'all. Musk faces major backlash after obnoxious productivity email. You're going to love this story because the lack in logic that these people have is just, it's on another level, y'all. It really is. They're constantly yelling and screaming about this and that and do this and go these unelected bureaucrat, rich billionaire, blah, 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 and you got to love it. But check this out. On Saturday, at the behest of unelected billionaire Elon Musk, the Office of Personnel Management emailed over 2 million federal workers with the subject line, "What did you do last week?" demanding they list roughly 5 tasks they accomplished in the past week. To up the stakes, Musk posted on his X platform, failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. And the outrage has been swift. So imagine that, folks. Imagine. Okay, so let's get the setup here. We got a new administration comes in talking about he wants to clean house. You got Elon Musk going around there firing all the probationary employees, just getting rid of those outright, firing anybody who questions anything, like, you know, in any insubordination, if you will, just getting those people out of there right fast. Okay, tells them they got to come back into the office. You can't work remotely anymore. They're having just meltdown after meltdown after meltdown. They are over in the corner seething. Just, you can see steam just coming right out of their face. They're just seething so dang much, right? So get this. A lot of these people, they work remotely. So imagine this, right? Just imagine this setup just for a second. I'm sorry, but look, you work remotely, so there's no oversight to know exactly what you're doing all day long while you're getting paid for it. Now imagine once a week your boss sends you an email, hey, what did you get accomplished this week? That would be a very, very standard thing to do, right? But they're absolutely having a meltdown over this. There's lawsuits, all kinds of stuff. Just check this out, yo. The logic here. Like, to have such outrage over this is ridiculous, y'all. It really is, and I'm just loving this. The unions for 2 groups of government employees, the American Federation of Government Employees and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, filed a lawsuit on Sunday saying that OPM's demand has not complied with any procedural requirements under the Administrative Procedure Act, which states that it must first provide a notice and comment period beforehand. For what? Asking them what they've done? Because that's all that is. Now, what I've heard, you know, scrolling through X, you see a bunch of people commenting about what's going on, right? The most logical explanation that I can see coming from all of this, right, as one user was talking about, okay, look, this is just it's a trick, essentially. What he does is he sends all these emails out there, and if these people aren't paying attention to their email, in other words, not doing work, they're not going to know to respond to this email. So then they get fired because they're not doing their job, essentially, right? Which makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. You know, Elon Musk has all kinds of tricks up his sleeves, right? Like, we've heard the stories about him sending out emails to find leakers, right? Like adding certain characters in different emails, like differently. Like, you might put a space and then a period, or you might just put a period behind one word in a long email, right? And that might be the only difference from email to email to email. So you can figure out who leaked whatever information it is. So there's all kind of tricks these people have to figure out if they're getting work done, if you will. So that seems to be the most logical conclusion that I can derive from this, from looking at everybody's comments, right? I didn't come up with that on my own, but it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. Now, getting to that, like just backing out and looking at this, obviously he just wants to know what got done. Like, you know, dismissing all of that, trying to figure out if we've got employees not actually doing any work, right? So it's just a basic productivity checkup. A lot of these people work remotely. They work from home. There's no oversight. You don't have a boss breathing down your neck. We want to know exactly what you've done. And this is freaking hilarious that they're actually filing lawsuits over this, y'all. Filing a lawsuit. It's absurd over just a simple, hey, what'd you get done this week? Once again, Elon Musk and the Trump administration have shown their utter disdain for federal employees and the critical services they provide to the American people, AFGE President Everett Kelly said in a press release. It is cruel and disrespectful to hundreds of thousands of veterans who are wearing their second uniform in the civil service to be forced to justify their job duties to this out-of-touch, privileged, unelected billionaire who has never performed one single hour of honest public service in his life. Like you can see what I'm talking about, with just absolutely in a corner, just a psychotic seethe, just raging from the very depths of their guts. Just everything's coming out, just seething. You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't ask me what I've done. It's like, wow, okay. That was, that escalated quickly, if you will. Federal agencies such as the FBI, State Department, and Pentagon are also reportedly blowing Musk off by instructing their employees to ignore his ridiculous request, right? You get that? Ridiculous request. Hey, what have you got done this week? That's ridiculous to ask your employees what you have gotten done this week. You got to love these people, man. They just... anything and everything the Trump administration does, anything and everything Trump does, just in general, they've got to be just on the polar opposite end of this, seething and, trying to cope with all this by filing lawsuits. It's like, are you freaking kidding me over here? Can't these people find something better to do with their life instead of seething over stuff that Donald Trump does, right? Our federal government is bloated, y'all, and they're finding all kind of inventive new ways to get rid of some of these people, and I am loving this, y'all. The FBI, though, through the office of the director, is in charge of all our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with FBI procedures, wrote newly confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel in an email. When and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. For now, please pause any responses. And it seems like they're taking this as a win. Like, so, oh, wait, hang on. Oh, the Trump administration is falling apart. Wait till you see my next video, y'all. James Carville has lost his freaking mind. He's predicting the Trump administration is going to collapse. Like, that's what he said. Like, collapse in public support, if you will. You got to love it, y'all. But these people have lost their freaking mind. Oh, all of a sudden, we've got the Trump administration is falling apart. Kash Patel is defying Trump. It's like, come on, right? Like, okay, let him handle his department. It's fine, y'all. He just wants to know what you guys have gotten done. This probably isn't really meant for, what it says it's meant for. Like I was saying earlier, it's probably meant to figure out if these people actually even pay attention to their freaking emails, which you probably should if you're a federal employee and you're working from home, right? There's so much going on with this. Like, these people need, they asked, come back into the office. If you're not back by this week or next week, I think whatever week it was, this week or next week, you're gone, you're fired, get out of here. And they are just melting down over that, filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. It's lovely. On Monday, the Trump administration reportedly plans to walk back the order, according to Politico. Oh, according to Politico. See, this is circuitous nonsense right here. Oh, Politico reported on this, so I'm going to report on this using their source. Well, where did their source come from to get that information, right? They plan, but it's Monday, and they haven't done it yet, as far as I know. It plans to give the agencies some allowance in how much they adhere to the request. However, that's unlikely to stop the backlash. Activists took to the Reddit page for 5051, or 5501, however you want to say that, which stands for 50 protests, 50 states, 1 day, to share the email address provided in the OPM email with the goal of flooding the servers with spam. Now, you notice in this news article right here, they went ahead and gave you that email so that you could flood their email servers with spam as well, right? These people are absolute scumbags for that. Right? That's a dirty trick, but it's not really going to matter too much because it's just going to go to a spam box, right? Like, come on, y'all. Like, use your brain a little bit. You think they're going to be offended? You think this is going to slow them down at all by spamming their email servers, for crying out loud? Like, come on. That's childish and ridiculous. These people are silly, y'all. Just outright silly, and I'm loving it. Nearly 500 comments have poured in on one Reddit thread, with users sharing that they were signing up the email address for erectile dysfunction products, sex shop email lists, and hair plug advertisements. I spent a while signing him up for support groups for men with botched penile implants, one user wrote. Be careful, though, with that email you use. A throwaway is best, and definitely nothing associated with your professional/work lives, another user wrote. Democratic senators also hurt Musk's feelings on X over the weekend. Oh, did they hurt his feelings? You're gonna love this, by the way. This allows you to dive a little bit off into the brain of a leftist, if you will, and what they consider to be offensive. After Washington, whatever that means, Senator Patty Murray's scathing speech on the Senate floor, in which she blamed Musk's anti-government workings on his allegedly poor reading comprehension skills, Musk replied to her on X and asked, in a not at all triggered way, "What did you get done this week?" Like, come on, he's really just poking the bear here, right? That clearly doesn't sound like he was triggered, because he sent you the same question as he sent everybody else. What did you get done this week? He's over here in the background laughing at these people all the way to the freaking bank at this point, right? And they are over here like, oh, he's triggered, because it's like, really? He's triggered. Where's your evidence for this? Because if it was just, what did you get done this week? Like, no. Like, he's trolling every single one of you people. Y'all do not see that or something, but I guess they don't. I work for the people of Washington State, not you, Murray replied. Yeah, there you go. That's how you get back at him. Democratic Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota was also on the attack. This is the ultimate dick boss move from Musk, except he isn't even the boss. He's just a dick, Smith wrote on X on Saturday to a screenshot of Musk's threat to federal workers. Oh, that's a threat now. See, this is what I mean by seething in a corner, just steam just rolling out of their nose, just he's threatening them by asking them, hey, what did you get done this week? If you don't respond in a week, I'll consider that you're fired. You quit, I mean. That's not a threat. Like, he just wants to know what you got done, for crying out loud. Don't take this so seriously, y'all. But once again, these people just don't have a brain, it seems like. Her phrasing here, calling Musk, well, a dick, is becoming popular on the left. Ooh, that's terrible, y'all. I bet a lot of people had an
experience like this with a bad boss. There's an email in your inbox on Saturday night saying, "Prove to me your worthiness by Monday or else." I'm on the side of the workers, not the billionaire asshole bosses, she added. Oh, you gotta love that, right? Show me what you done this week. I don't know, maybe they could type out 5 things and shoot that email right back off. Instead, though, what do? They get on social media, have a cope session, right? Seethe for about an hour, then call their lawyer, file a lawsuit over this. It's lovely, y'all. However, some are willing to challenge Musk. Ever the sycophant, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reportedly instructed his 80,000 employees at the Department of Health and Human Services to comply. And even Democratic Rep. Jerry Connolly of Virginia, who beat popular New York Rep. and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a leadership position, told workers to give in to the absurd demand. Oh my God. You know what this reminds me of? I saw a meme one time. It was basically somebody walking by and says, "How are you doing today?" And, "Stop touching me! Get away from me!" He's like, they started freaking out because of that. It's like, this is what seems like what's going on. "Hey, how's it going?" "Rapist!" It's like, wow. That was not the reaction I was expecting to get from you guys. Musk might think he's running a tech startup where employees jump at his every whim. But the federal government doesn't work like that. With unions, lawmakers, and even entire agencies openly defying his ridiculous demands, it turns out civil servants aren't as easily bullied as Tesla interns. Man, they're not being bullied, are they? No, but they're getting trolled into oblivion, and I'm laughing at every single one of you leftist idiots. These people just, you gotta love the modern left. And don't you just love this timeline that we're living in right now? Trump gets elected after a very tumultuous election cycle. He almost got, I'm not even going to say it, but we know what he almost had done to him twice. He's been put through the ringer. He's been drugged through court. He's just been through so much. And, with everything that the left has put him through, like, they deserve all of this. They really do. But if they were actually normal human beings, they would just respond with listing off 5 things they done this week. And boom, there you go. But instead, you're going to make all this drama. You're going to make a mountain out of a molehill, right? Because that's exactly what this is. It's not even a molehill. It's more like a pebble. Making a mountain out of a pebble over here. It's like, a little toddler walking and falls down, just kind of falls backwards and lands on his butt. You know how toddlers do when they're first learning to walk? And just start bawling, crying, just having a complete meltdown because of it. That's what this reminds me of. These people are just so absurd with their just standard daily life, I guess you could call it, the logic that goes on in their brain. I don't quite comprehend how they think that this is obnoxious, right? Like, sure, it might be a little bit annoying, but I mean, come on. You don't fall for the troll, in other words. If somebody's pushing your buttons, you don't explode, right? Especially if you know what's going on here, right? And especially with Elon Musk, one of the biggest trolls on the planet. We can all see what he's doing with this, right? And it's very smart. Like I said, the most logical conclusion to this is he wants to figure out who is actually doing work, or if we even have some ghost employees, right? Because we could have federal employees out there that just don't do anything at all. Right? I mean, it's the federal government, because they've made it so hard to get rid of people in this day and age that I'm sure there's a lot of people, a lot of, lower level people that you want to fire the guy, but, you're going to have to go through court and all this other stuff just to fire this guy and get rid of him. So, we're not spending our money here. They don't have to worry about, quotas or anything like that. They don't have to worry about overhead, really. They don't have to worry about sales. None of that. They don't have to worry about revenue. So you can just keep employees and just say, yeah, just go do whatever you want. Just stay on the clock. We don't care at this point, right? And we're looking for this. I mean, the federal government has over 2 million employees. So I'm sure there's going to be some bad apples in there somewhere. But it makes the most amount of sense that he's trying to filter through all these people, right? To figure out who actually pays attention and who doesn't. Because that's a lot of people, y'all. And like I said, it's so hard to get rid of some of these employees. It's probably a lot easier. And, with this day and age, people are kind of lazy. Hey, I'm one of those people, right? But people are kind of lazy. So it would just be a whole hell of a lot easier to just keep them employed and just send them off to the gulag over here. Just, hey, you go be a guard at the gulag, right? I mean, just go over there, shipping them off to Siberia, if you will. That type of thing, right? So there could be a lot of those employees. So he wants to figure out who's actually paying attention, who's actually doing their job. So he sends this mass email out there. And if you don't reply, then he's going to take that as a resignation. That's also another smart way to do this, because for the simple fact, it is really hard to fire these employees. I mean, just look at what's going on. Right, there's lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. So he takes that as a resignation. So if it does happen to go to court, he could say, look, we sent this email out. They never replied. I put in the email, hey, if they don't reply, then he's going to assume that they quit. That's a smart way to do this, right? Some people might just ignore this email on purpose. Right, but hey, you don't get your pension. You don't get none of it. Well, that just depends, honestly, on that one. But you don't get severance or none of that if you just quit like this, right? You don't get all those benefits you would if you actually retire, something like that. Of course, quitting is almost just as bad as getting fired. But if you were vested, for sure, you'd probably still get all your pension stuff. But I guess that would depend on the department too, because, yeah, I'm not sure how that would work, to be honest with you. But I love this. I love this timeline, yo. I really do. This is so great. Sends this mass email out there, and they just melt down. Instead of responding to it like a normal human being, they go in the corner and just seethe, just endlessly, like extremely, just... Like I said, y'all, just melting down over all this. You gotta love it. But this is a smart move on Elon Musk's part. And I totally understand. Kash Patel. I think, what's her name? Damn it. I can't think of her damn name. What is it? We all know her. She just got confirmed as the DNI, the Department of National Intelligence, or Director of National Intelligence. What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know why I couldn't think of her name, but Tulsi Gabbard, I believe she told her employees to just chill out and don't respond to this either. So I'm loving it. I'm loving every single minute of this, y'all. But I think I'm going to wrap it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. This blows my mind. I would never have expected that kind of response. Like, just complete meltdown, that actual meltdown. I know sometimes I use that term a little bit hyperbolically, but, this is an actual meltdown. Filing a lawsuit over an email asking them, inquiring, hey, what did you do last week? If you don't tell me, you're fired. I mean, come on. This is just ridiculousness at this point. These people are trying to... Oh, man, it just blows my mind. It really blows my mind. I almost let something slip right there that I don't want to say. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got on this one. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.